Yeah, what's up, y'all? Good afternoon, good early evening. Let's see what happens if I push this thing. Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was just wondering if I could see comments via this thing, but I guess I can. Cool. Hope it's going well. Trying times to be in. Certainly trying times to be a person of that carries empathy and tries to care and think about more than just themselves. Obviously, the pandemic has us all shooken and out of our comfort zones. But yeah, I mean, what's going down in Minneapolis is just want to give love and solidarity to those that are in the streets fighting for things that are bigger than themselves as well. Yeah, I usually do have walk-on music whenever I do live streams. And if you haven't caught the theme yet, it's always some song about being by myself. Celine Dion, All By Myself. I'm so lonesome, I could die. But anyways, I got a handful of questions that kind of pertain to each of the songs, and I got them from American Songwriter, who are very kind enough to host this. And it's been a great day on their Facebook page. Hopefully you've tuned in to a lot of them. I've been checking in and out periodically through the day. But I also was logged into their account, so I didn't want to fuck anybody's stream up. So I just would pop on and check it out for a little bit and then make sure I didn't ruin things. That being said, the questions that they gave a couple for each song, so I'll just kind of go through those and then play the song, and that'll be the modus operandi for this. But first song I'm going to play is called 2020 Vision. It's the title track of our brand new record that came out in January. And the question is, what was the inspiration for this song? And I think that for us as a band that's been together for 25 years and have consistently tried to put empathy as the focal point of the band, a lot of these things that we're singing about, we've written songs about in the past. Whether it be, the aforementioned police violence and police murder in Minneapolis, what's happening currently, or whether it be environmental destruction or economies that are based on the suffering of others. These are all things that we've commented on in the past. So with this record, in the year 2020 feeling as big as it did, I wanted to make sure that we tried to encapsulate what our vision for the future was. And the follow-up question that they have is, at what point during the process did you decide that this song was going to be the title track? And it's actually was written as the title track for the record. And that's the first time we've ever done that as a band. We usually save artwork, save the title, save everything until the album is completely finished, and then we can look at it as a whole and try to pick a title that encapsulates what we're discussing or what we're working on, or what the overarching goal of the album is. But I kind of knew that I wanted to put out a record in January 2020, call it 2020 Vision, have it be a song and a record that we can serve as a rallying point moving forward, because this is a and subsequently it's proven to be more of this than maybe we anticipated when we wrote the record. But this has been a difficult year, and the growing pains are vast, and so it just kind of asks the question, how long do we have to wait for social and racial and economic justice for all people? How long do we need to wait and continue to victimize those that are most vulnerable and marginalized in our society. So that's the question that the song asks, and the answer is still to be written. But that's the beautiful thing about our future, is no one knows what it's going to be. And I hope for all of you watching, and for all the people that you know and love in your lives, that it is far more egalitarian than what we have right now. So this song's called 2020 Vision, and it goes like this. I had a 2020 vision of the last of the wrongs undone. No more hate, no division. No one is free until the war is won. Alright! Is there an answer to the question? When will this come to its end? Or do we just keep on repeating all of the things that the low someday? Now carry on, carry on, carry on. Tell me which side are you on? Carry on, carry on, carry on, one by one. Now there's an answer on the radio, there's a hole right through our hearts. Now the last of the wicked, waiting to tear us all apart. Now carry on, carry on, carry on. Tell me which side are you on? Carry on, carry on, carry on, one by one. Alright. I had a 2020 vision of the last of the wrongs undone. No more hate, no division. No one is free until the war is won. Now carry on, carry on, carry on. Tell me which side are you on? Carry on, carry on, carry on. For the people or the gun. Carry on, carry on, carry on, one by one. One by one. One by one. One by one. All right. Yeah, song's called 2020 Vision, off of our new record, also called 2020 Vision. Next song I'm going to play for you is called The Debate Is Over. And, you know, it's a similar theme, but I think that when the song was written, we were, you know, it was really the beginning of the awakening of how many young people were getting involved in activism, especially environmental activism. And so we wanted to, you know, lend our voices to that chorus of people who were fighting to save the planet. So one of the questions from American Songwriter is do you tend to write your songs all together as a band, or do you ever write individually and then bring to the group? And the follow-up is, what does the songwriting process generally look like? And you know, for Anti-Flag, the process is never the same. It varies from record to record, and it varies from song to song within those records. For the most part, the general sense is that Justin or I have a song idea, whether it's a chorus or whether it is a you know, a skeleton lyric that we're going to build the song around, and we flesh that out as much as we can on our own, whether it's on the tour bus or whether it is, you know, backstage, or, you know, some songs are written during sound check. And then we try to get it into a place where we feel confident in it enough to share it with everybody else. And then it always gets, we call it put through the anti-flag filter. I mean, I can write a drum beat, I can write anything, and then the second Pat plays it, it sounds like anti-flag. The second Chris Head is playing guitar on it, it sounds like anti-flag. So I think that is a valuable lesson that we've learned, is that even if it's a song that is start to finish Justin or I wrote completely, by putting the other people that are in the band on it, their choice of notes, their choice or comfort zone of where to play things always shines through, and more often than not turns it into something that feels familiar and comfortable for Anti-Flag. And I think that that's important, because we like to push the envelope whenever it comes to the writing process or whenever it comes to the musicality of the band, but there is this backbone of the band that is, you know, whether it's an anti-war stance or whether it is putting people over profit, you know, all of these things, whatever you want to call the message of the band, that's at the heart of it. And so we need all 4 members of the band to believe in that. What we've found through, you know, 12 records and 300 songs or whatever we have, when we fake it, when it's not the 4 of us truthfully believing in it, people can identify that and they smell the bullshit. And it tends to not be a song that's received well or works well. So, you know, I felt a bit intimidated being a part of this American Songwriter stream, because I don't know much about songwriting. I don't know much about music theory. I don't know much about, you know, my musicianship is limited to the things that I learn on the fly. But the things that I do know about songwriting are, one, if there is one responsibility of the artist, whether it's a poet or a painter or a musician or whatever, it's to be true to yourself and to say the things that are inside of you and get them out. And then the only other thing I know is something I learned from Tom Morello, and this was like a kind of a, you know, a collaborative moment where he, you know, maybe talked us off the ledge a little bit. But if you're making art that is generally received as good by the population, it's probably pretty shitty. So it's okay to make people a bit uncomfortable. So this song's called The Debate Is Over. All right.
I'm truly free to see the clear-cut forest for the poison sea, to see the waters occupy the shores of Jersey, and I feel alive. For the first time in my life, I'm truly free to watch the waters persecuting New Orleans. 7 days of disregard on a live stream, from Fukushima 88 into the deep sea. But don't let them tell you this is on your back. The point of contention is how they act. Where you draw the line will set you free. Alright. For the last time in our lives, get to see sunsets reflecting shine off of the green sheet. 'Cause there's too much to gain letting things be as they be. And as the same who sell disease, they also sell greed. So just change the light you are, or just change the car you drive, but don't change the makeup of every economy. you this is on your back. The point of contention is how they act. Where you draw the line will set you free. No, don't let them tell you this is on your back. The point of contention is how they act. Where you draw the line will set you free. But the baby's over. But the baby's over. But the baby's over. But the baby's over. Yeah, cool. The Debate is Over off of American Spring, 2015. I saw something come in from the American Songwriter folks. I want to take a look at it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, you know, again, you know, we're only able to control what we can control in our own lives. And so I think that, you know, valuable resources for me have been sitting down with my favorite records and dissecting them, both lyrically, but also musically. And, you know, poor artists copy, real artists steal, you know? So, that's always been, what's up? Yo, Las Vegas, we should have been on Punk Rock Bowling. So this song is called 1915, and the question that came through from American Songwriter is, as a band that's been performing for so many years, are you surprised to see certain songs hold up and remain so popular? I think that we're surprised anytime anyone in the world listens to our band. We set out with the intention of being a member of our scene in Pittsburgh, playing music to create camaraderie, to show us that folks that stand in opposition to racism and sexism and homophobia and transphobia and Islamophobia, folks that do not believe war is the answer to the world's problems, that there are others who feel the same way that we do. That was the main agenda of the band. That's why the band's called Anti-Flag. We wanted to make this statement and raise our hands and say, if you collectively believe in these things, there are 4 kids from Pittsburgh who feel the same way you do. Let's hang out. Let's be friends. Let's find kinship. So yeah, anytime somebody tells us that a record was impactful to them or a song was impactful to them, we're forever grateful. It's not lost on us. It's also the reason why, as a band, we don't have any songs that we are afraid of or disagree with or don't like to play. That's not within our nomenclature as a band. There's nothing that we're embarrassed of. There may be like a lyric here and there where we're like, oh, we were dumb and young, but no, we don't like banish songs from our repertoire because of that. So yeah, song called 1915. Saw a question come in about the NHL. I'm very excited to watch hockey. That's I don't care how they do it. I just want to watch it. Should probably just be called a tournament, not the Stanley Cup final, but we can debate that later. All right. Song's called 1915. I forgot what I was doing there for a second. In a letter to every president, congressman, career politician, strong despite across the envelope, with all of our conditions. It only took a few hours for his peers to find him guilty in a trial to fail. A robbery, immigrant worker, that's no place amongst the living. My body, if I could choose, to ashes it would. Murdered by the capitalists, 1915, be careful what you wish. Who is wrong? Who is righteous? And what was stolen from us, we will just take an ocean. They could stop all speeding trains. Every ship upon the oceans they could tie with mighty chains. Every wheel in the creation, every mine and every mill, fleets and armies of all nations will at our command stand still.
All right, thanks, y'all. Shout out to Joe Hill. Those who work for a living, those who enjoy weekends and 40-hour work weeks. Joe Hill, pivotal in the fight for workers' rights, continues to be today from the grave. So this song is called Un-American, and the question that came in was, do you consider how a song is going to sound live during the writing process? Yeah, I do. I think that we will sometimes pull sections out because we know we can extrapolate on them in the live scenario, so they don't need to be as quote-unquote theatrical. You know, sometimes we write a part and we go, oh yeah, this is gonna work. This is going to connect with people. This is going to convey the emotionality or the hope that we wish it to. But nothing is ever done with an intention set at the beginning. The song or the riff or the lyric will always dictate those things later. Now we might, sometimes in that process of writing the lyric or writing the melody or writing the riff or whatever it is, the fork in the road will appear and we could go one way or the other. And sometimes we take the right path and sometimes we fuck up. But then what do? You just write another song, try again. This question is, do you do lyrics first or is it 50-50? I would say it's almost 80-20 in our world where lyrics come at the end. Now, there is always a lyric or an idea or a function of the song, whether it's a reaction to an injustice or a reaction to something that's happened in our personal lives or a connection to what is happening in the world that is the catalyst to write the song. But the lyrics aren't done until we really, it's not done until we sing it, and we tell ourselves that all the time. I'm going to knock this guitar over so I'm going to get it. Cool. This song is called Un-American, and it's off the newest record, and I want to send this song out to George Floyd in his memory, and I want to send this song out to those who fight police murder and injustice everywhere.
Bottom floor of a cold building, promised a career and a diamond ring. Glass ceiling above, nothing under feet. Honey, just give me a smile, how hard can that be? Life at 26 ain't what she thought it would be. Now she's waking up from an American dream. No rain falls to a spoiled land. Who's un-American, un-American? No peace comes from a greedy hand. Who's un-American, un-American? Whoa, 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 whoa. Factory floor, what they told him was stay. Another lie sold on another campaign. The church's decay by his grandparents' grave. A town exchanged for the money they saved. Life at 36 ain't what he thought it would be. Now he's waking up from an American dream. No rain falls to a spoiled land. He's un-American. No peace comes from a greedy head who is un-American, un-American. Whoa, 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 whoa. Apartment floor to the stadium, the roar of the crowd and the marching drums. Always thought they taught him how to run, saying I can't breathe, the jury was the gun. No rain falls to a spoiled land who's un-American, un-American. No peace comes from a greedy head who's un-American, un-American. Whoa, trouble, it causes trouble everywhere. But when you die and you go to heaven, you will find no policeman there.
Yeah, my heart goes out to George Floyd and his family. This has happened too many times. And the progress and the justice that we seek is consistently a battle worth fighting. And, you know, I know that we wish it to come to fruition in our lifetimes, but unfortunately, it looks like the fight that we're doing now is just going to be, how are we remembered? As those that stood on the sidelines and allowed things to continue as such? Or were we willing to stand up and fight alongside and for people outside of our own world, you know? And I think that's consistently the question. But yeah, I gonna do one more. The song's called Brandenburg Gate, and some last two questions that I got here from American Songwriter are because of quarantine delaying touring, what's next for us musically, and we're not sure. You know, I really don't know. We've rescheduled our tour dates now like 3 times, and it keeps getting pushed around, and I'm hopeful that sooner than later we're back on the road doing things that we know how to do best. I'm not very good at looking at my phone and playing songs into the abyss. I want to shake people's hands. I want to give them hugs. I want to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable as much as possible, and that includes ourselves. You know, when things like this are going down and you don't have the optimism and the energy of the punk show to lift you up, it is a much harder road to hoe. But that being said, you know, we're gonna figure it out. And whether or not we record some music during this downtime, we've been writing all individually. We've been doing live streams. We've been trying to stay connected to the community and the people that surround Anti-Flag as much as possible, because frankly, we need it. But ultimately, you know, I don't know how this is all going to go down and when it's going to come, when we'll be on the other side of it. But I do know that we will get there. It's just some days are harder than others, you know. And then the last question is, what advice would you give to aspiring songwriters? And my only advice is to just do it. Aspiring to be what, you know? For me, the question isn't why or how to do this. it's not even a question. It just has to be done. It just, you know, this has to, these ideas have to come out, and banging our head against the wall and hoping and knowing within our hearts that a better world is possible is the driving factor for all of the songs we write. I don't think that all of your art or music needs to be politically focused or centric or any of that. You know, that's a question that we get often as well. You know, does music have to be political? And I don't think so. I think that it's a misconception that you can be apolitical in the world. You are making a political decision by abstaining from the process. But, you know, it's okay. You can do that. We don't need everybody. I think that's another misconception, is that the song, you know, that I'm going to play Brandenburg Gate right now, and that somebody who is openly racist or sexist or bigoted is going to hear it and then be different tomorrow. Doesn't really work that way. The songs impact people. People then interact with others, and that's what changes the world. And you know, we just know what it looks like if we do nothing. I'm far more interested in what it looks like when we try our best to leave things better than we found them. And that's what this song's about. It's called Brandenburg Gate. Well, I lost my baby to a foreign war. She was cut down in the gunfire of the Western world. She was living in sin, I was living in a lie. She was caught up in the glimmer of a rich man's eye, and I couldn't see her from the other side. They said, son, there ain't no glory in your pride. But I will wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I will wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I'll wait. Well, I lost my baby to a foreign war. She was cut down in the gunfire of the Western world. She was searching for salvation in the things you buy. Was finding every reason to give up on life. And if you love something and give it away, no, it can't come back unless you're free. I will wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I will wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. Well, I'll wait, I'll wait, I'll wait. Somewhere in the in-between, where the East and the West meet, at the 30-year war where I came clean, that's where you find me. I'll wait, I'll wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'll wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I'll wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I'll wait, I'll wait, I'll wait. Cool. Thank you all very much. It's been an absolute honor and privilege to spend some time on the American Songwriter account. Humbled to be included in today's event. And, you know, again, I think that the songwriting thing, you know, it's not a Rubik's Cube. It's not a problem that you solve. You're consistently working on it. And so I want you to know that there is no right or wrong. Just whatever's inside of you, get it out any way you know how and any way you can. Good luck, y'all. Stay safe. Stay inside. Wear a goddamn mask. And rest in power, George Floyd. Solidarity to the streets of Minneapolis and around the world. People that are fighting for justice everywhere. Peace, y'all.